Have you ever wondered what life would be like if you turned on your tap and nothing came out? An unsettling thought, isn't it? But for many people, this is not a hypothetical situation. It's their reality. Welcome to the unseen crisis, the global water crisis. It's a quiet catastrophe that's brewing beneath the surface, often overlooked but affecting more lives and places than you might imagine. Water, the essence of life, is becoming alarmingly scarce. From the parched plains of Africa to the bustling cities of Asia, from the affluent neighborhoods of Europe to the sprawling landscapes of America, no place is immune. This crisis is not just about thirst or the inconvenience of not being able to take a shower. It's far more profound and far-reaching. It's a crisis that influences every aspect of human life and the environment. It's about health, as lack of clean water leads to diseases. It's about hunger, as crops fail without adequate irrigation. It's about education, as children, particularly girls, miss out on school to fetch water. It's about conflict, as communities and countries fight over dwindling resources. The environment, too, is paying a heavy price. Wetlands are drying up, wildlife is suffering, and ecosystems are being thrown out of balance. The ripple effects of water scarcity are felt throughout the natural world. And let's dispel a common misconception. This is not just a third world problem. It's a global issue. Water scarcity is creeping into our lives regardless of where we live or how affluent our communities are. From Cape Town's Day Zero to Flint, Michigan's water crisis, the stories are countless and the warnings are clear. The water crisis is a silent crisis. It's not as visible as a hurricane or an earthquake, but its impact is just as devastating, if not more so. It's a crisis that's quietly chipping away at our survival and the health of our planet. It's a silent crisis that's creeping up on us, and it's time we took notice. Because the reality is, the water flowing from our taps is not an infinite resource, and the time to act is now. In 2018, the city of Cape Town in South Africa came dangerously close to running out of water. This wasn't a sudden event, but a crisis that had been brewing for years, under the radar of many. A combination of a rapidly growing population, a 3-year-long drought, and insufficient planning had culminated into the threat of Day Zero, a day when the taps would run dry. Cape Town's 4 million residents were forced to reckon with a lifestyle that no longer took water for granted. The city council imposed stringent water restrictions, limiting each person to 50 liters of water a day. Imagine that, 50 liters for drinking, cooking, bathing, and everything else. That's less water than the average American uses in 4 minutes of showering. The city scrambled to find solutions. Desalination plants were built to convert seawater into fresh water. The agriculture sector, which consumed about 30% of the city's water supply, was asked to cut back. Water management devices were installed in homes to monitor and limit usage. In the face of an impending catastrophe, the city was redefining its relationship with water. But the struggle wasn't just about finding water, it was about changing mindsets. It was about understanding that water isn't an infinite resource, but a precious commodity that needs to be conserved and used wisely. It was an urgent call to shift from a culture of consumption to a culture of conservation. And it worked. With collective efforts and some timely rainfall, Cape Town managed to push back Day Zero, for now. The city's water crisis is far from over, but it has sparked a global conversation about water scarcity and the urgent need for sustainable water management. What happened in Cape Town is a chilling reminder of what could happen anywhere if we don't manage our water resources wisely. It's a story of a city on the brink, of a crisis averted, and of lessons learned the hard way. But most importantly, it's a story of how we, as a global community, need to rethink our relationship with water before it's too late. But water crises aren't always about scarcity. Sometimes they're about quality. That's where Flint, Michigan comes into the picture, a stark example of a man-made disaster. In the heart of the United States, Flint was once a thriving industrial city. But in 2014, a decision was made to switch the city's water source as a cost-saving measure. The new source? The Flint River, a body of water notorious for its polluted state. The change was supposed to be temporary, a stopgap until a new supply line to Lake Huron was ready. But the damage was done quicker than anyone could have anticipated. The corrosive river water caused lead from aging pipes to leach into the city's supply, exposing over 100,000 residents to dangerously high levels of the heavy metal. This wasn't just a water issue, it was a health crisis. Lead, even in small amounts, can cause severe health problems, especially in children. Developmental issues, learning difficulties, even irreversible brain damage, these are the specters that haunt Flint's youngest residents. Yet, it took over a year for the crisis to come to light, for the state to admit its mistake. And even then, the response was slow. Bottled water and filters were distributed, yes, but the underlying issue remained. The pipes, the lead, the poisoned water. Today, Flint is still grappling with the aftermath. The city's water quality has improved, but trust in the system is shattered. Many residents still rely on bottled water for their daily needs, fearing what might come out of their taps. The struggle for clean water in Flint continues. It's a stark reminder of the human cost of negligence and poor decision-making. It's a testament to the fact that access to water isn't just about quantity, but quality. Flint's story shows us that having access to water isn't enough. It has to be clean, safe water. The Flint water crisis is a warning, a call to vigilance. Because when it comes to our most vital resource, there's no room for mistakes. The water crisis may seem like an insurmountable problem, but there are things each of us can do to make a difference. One of these is embracing the power of conservation, a simple yet profound action that can have far-reaching impacts. Let's begin with rainwater harvesting. This age-old method of collecting and storing rainwater for later use is more than just a nostalgic throwback. It's a practical way of making use of what nature provides, reducing our reliance on municipal water supplies, and mitigating the effects of drought and water scarcity. Picture this. A single inch of rain falling on a 1,000-square-foot roof can yield approximately 600 gallons of water. That's enough to fill 10 bathtubs. Next, let's talk about gray water recycling. Gray water refers to relatively clean wastewater from baths, sinks, washing machines, and other kitchen appliances. Rather than letting this water go down the drain, we can recycle it for uses like irrigation and flushing toilets. By doing so, we can reduce our water usage by up to 50%. That's half the water bill and half the guilt. Efficient irrigation is another crucial aspect of water conservation. Traditional watering methods often waste precious water through evaporation, runoff, and wind. By implementing systems like drip irrigation or soaker hoses, we can target water directly to the plant roots, reducing waste and promoting healthier plants. But remember, it's not just about these big methods. Small changes in our daily habits can add up to big savings too. Turning off the tap while brushing your teeth, fixing leaky faucets promptly, and opting for a shower instead of a bath are all simple ways to conserve water. Water conservation is not just about saving water. It's about ensuring a future for ourselves and generations to come. By embracing these conservation methods and making them a part of our lives, we can all play a part in tackling the water crisis. After all, every drop counts. So, what will your role be in this global effort? It's time to step up, to adopt water-saving habits that will ripple out, making a difference. Spread the word, let others know about the water crisis we're facing and its far-reaching impacts. Support policies and organizations that are championing the cause of water conservation. Small changes can lead to big impacts. Don't underestimate the power of collective action. Remember, every drop counts. Start making a difference today.